Testing 1, 2. Okay, I have 6 o'clock, and hopefully CMAP will get us live here in a moment. And I am calling this regular meeting of the San Benito County Planning Commission to order at 6 p.m., October 15th. And we're just going to hang on for a moment while CMAP gets the video up. Okay, something again? Sorry, folks, it'll just be a moment. Well, yeah, I can't promise that. That's my hope.
Half hour, huh? Yeah, we're missing.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
We don't hurry up, we're gonna miss happy hour.
Yep.
Testing 1, 2, testing. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, well, maybe I'm not close enough to the mic, I don't know, but
No,
it sounds
you're
okay to me. Okay, there's video. Okay, cool. So if we could have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Gibson.
Ready to salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And if we could now have the roll call, please.
Absolutely. District 1, Vincent Ringhayden is absent. District 2, Richard Way.
Present.
District 3, Robert Scaliotti.
Present.
District 4, Robert Gibson.
Present.
District 5, Bobby Thomason.
Present.
We have a quorum of 4 commissioners present.
Thank you. Item number 4 is actually bittersweet. We have 2 presentations to go through, and they are presentations for a couple of people who we've very much enjoyed working with over the years and are unfortunately leaving the county's employ. So if I could, I'm going to walk over to the podium here and do a couple of quick presentations. Okay, so now this mic is on. Okay, great, sounds good. So let's see, starting with Victor Tafoya, if we could have you come up to the podium, please. Thanks. Okay, Victor is going to be leaving us. The San Benito County Planning Commission extends its deepest appreciation to Victor Tafoya, Associate Planner, for over 3 years of dedicated service to the planning department and the local community. During his time with the county, Victor made significant contributions that have left a lasting... I'm sorry, I'm not close enough. He played a key role in permitting major local events, including the county's first ever Spartan race, enhancing community engagement and economic activity. His support in completing and launching the county's free accessory dwelling unit plans have expanded housing opportunities for residents. Victor also led efforts to establish MWELO, Model Water Efficient Landscape Ordinance procedures and regulations, helping to ensure sustainable development and responsible water use throughout the county. Victor will be leaving the county to continue his public service career as an associate planner with the city of San Juan Bautista. While we are sad to see him go, we are excited for the next chapter in his professional journey and confident he will bring the same dedication and excellence to his new role. We thank Victor for his service and wish him continued success in all his future endeavors. We have a certificate for Victor signed by the commissioners. And so I think we want to get a photo as well. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And next up, if we could have Ariel Goodspeed come up to the podium. So the San Benito County Planning Commission extends its deepest appreciation to Ariel Goodspeed, Principal Planner, for over 6 years of dedicated service to the Planning Department and the local community in recognition of your outstanding leadership. Your exemplary oversight of core departmental functions, including planning, building, and code enforcement, along with the development and administration of a multi-million-dollar annual budget during the FY 2025-26 cycle, has demonstrated exceptional fiscal responsibility and strategic vision. You have successfully secured and managed critical funding aligned with long-term housing, conservation, and climate resilience goals. Your leadership in advancing major planning efforts such as San Benito County Conservation Plan, Sixth Cycle Housing Element, Safety Element, Agricultural Element, and the San Benito County Climate Action Roadmap reflects a deep commitment to sustainable, inclusive, and forward-thinking community development. Your contributions to the successful implementation of specific plans, including Santana Ranch, San Juan Oaks, Fairview Corners, as well as your work on policy development, ordinance updates, and interdepartmental coordination have had a lasting impact on the county. We also commend your dedication to building high-performing teams, modernizing internal systems through automation, fostering transparent community engagement, in acting on behalf of the planning director and representing the county in high-level discussions with tribal governments, developers, and regional partners. You've shown professionalism, integrity, and a strong sense of public service as you take the next step in your professional journey as a planning manager with the city of San Juan Bautista. We express our sincere gratitude for your contributions and wish you continued success. Your leadership and passion for community empowerment will be greatly missed. And again, we have a certificate for you, as well as hopefully we can get a photo. Okay. Thank you. Okay, yes.
Seth Capron from Aromas. This is a huge loss for our county. I've had the pleasure of working with Ariel a lot for the last 5 years. She was intimately involved in making the Riverview Housing, self-help housing project happen. And, you know, you think of the work of a planner. I mean, she was qualifying low-income families, doing a lot of work outside of what you'd think and outside of the hours that most people are usually working. And I think that would also be true. I've been to lots of evening meetings that she attends, and it just sort of blows my mind how she and Stephanie also, how they can work so many hours and cover so many topics in a week. And, she's grown in this job over the last 5 years. And that's why it's particularly a huge loss for us, because she's learned so much and has become so effective. So I'm really sad to see her go and really thank her for all her hard work.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment on that?
I do have a hand via Zoom. Leslie, you've been allowed to speak if you would like to comment on this.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Commissioners. Leslie Austin, also from Aromas. I also want to take a moment to publicly acknowledge and thank Ariel Goodspeed for the outstanding service that Commissioner Way and also Seth Capron just mentioned. But also because I've watched Ariel do the quiet, sort of steady work that keeps the planning department running. I've watched her keep projects moving, ensure legal requirements are met. She's guided applicants and residents like me through really complicated processes. And she's done that always with patience and just real professionalism. I think Seth's right. I mean, I've been struck by how many invisible threads Ariel holds together to make our local systems work. I've seen her link policy with like practice. I've watched her coordinate between staff and the community. I've seen her take direction from the planning commission and the board and translate that into implementation. And she just does it always with just, grace and, always doing her best to balance the sort of technical side of that work with, I think, what are the really human sides of planning. So I want to say that I'm deeply appreciative of the working relationship that we've had, Ariel, even in challenging and high pressure moments. I really appreciate how calm and thoughtful and solution oriented you've been, and how you listen carefully and follow through, and really just how you make the process much better for everyone involved. And, as you move on, I hope the county realizes and recognizes the systems that you've built, and that your colleagues, those who remain, will have learned from your example. And I just really appreciate the integrity you bring to public service. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on this?
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Please.
Thank you. I have had the pleasure of knowing Ariel since July of 2019. Even though I wasn't working for the County of San Benito, I was actually asked by the county's Human Resources Department to be a part of the panel to hire a planner for the County of San Benito. And so I had the honor of serving in that panel where Ariel was being interviewed. And before I left that panel, I had no doubt in my mind that my recommendation was for her to be the one chosen. And right before I came to work here at the county, I spoke to the previous RMA director, Mike Chambliss, as some of you may know, right before he left, and he indicated to me that he had just promoted Ariel to principal planner. And I commended Mike for doing so, because even though I had not been working with him at that time, or with her in my previous jurisdiction, we had collaborated on some projects with Ariel, and I know all of the integrity and all of the great work that all of the previous speakers and you, Mr. Chair, just talked about, and it was a no-brainer for me. I commended Mike for doing so. And, as you know, the principal planner is a supervisorial position. It's, it kind of goes hand in hand with the planning manager, that now the role that she is taking on. And I remember when I first came in 2022, it was just Ariel and one other planner for the department. There was a high turnover rate, unfortunately, in 2022. And so we worked together to start building up that planning department team back into track. And we fortunately had 3 additional planners that are actually new to the career, Victor being one of them. And, with the leadership of the upper management, we were able to help and leadership of Ariel get these planners and actually, contribute really good and have great exposure to all of the different types of projects in the county, which, in great part was due to the leadership of Ariel. And, it was during a time where we had a lot of major projects, Strata Verde, Betabel, landfill expansion, just to name a few. And so, we did a great job in great part with Ariel's leadership in maintaining the planning department afloat. And so, I just wanted to add that we were very saddened that Ms. Ariel Goodspeed is leaving the county, but we do wish her the best, and we're very thankful and grateful for all her collaboration here with us.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll make mine short and sweet. It's been a pleasure working with both of you, and I thank you for your dedication to the county, to the community, and I wish you well on your new endeavors, and I'm sure that if we have projects near San Juan Bautista, we'll be seeing you. So good luck. Thank you.
I want to wish to both of you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you for all the help you've given me, Ariel, since I started this position. You've been my rock. Every time I need something, I can call on you. I want to thank you very much. Good luck in your endeavors.
I'll second those, even though I haven't been here very long. You guys are amazing, and it's going to be a big shoes to fill. especially you, Ariel.
Thanks. Any other commentary on this before we move on to next item? Doesn't sound like it. Okay, and I should have mentioned,
Okay,
I'm
through
sorry,
the
go ahead,
chair.
please.
I want to say from the bottom of my heart how much I love this community. And although I won't be serving the county, I'll never stop serving this community. These people and the different organizations and the businesses and those who serve on commissions and as supervisors and the staff, the staff across the county, you don't know how good of staff we have, and nothing could be possible without those relationships. And so from the bottom of my heart, I just thank you for letting me serve you. So thank you.
Thanks. I also should have mentioned that it's not like today is not their last day, but it is their last meeting with us. So they'll be around for a little while longer, but they will not be here for the next Planning Commission meeting. So on that note, moving on to something hopefully more pleasant, department announcements with Abraham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Planning Commission. I just, want to indicate that during this time, we normally indicate what new planning applications have come in, discretionary permits in regards to those that are likely going to be seen by you. This time, since last month, we haven't received any new applications for discretionary permits. Of course, we have a lot of ministerial permits that come in, but there has been no new discretionary permits since last month. And I just kind of wanted to just briefly also talk a little bit about the state of the planning department, especially since we give the recognition to two well-deserving colleagues of mine who I appreciate so much. I do want to indicate just very briefly that as you just heard, we are going to be losing two great colleagues, and that's going to bring our planning department essentially to two planners. And as you know, because of the budget situation, there is a hiring freeze, and there's other steps that the county has taken for the budget. And so I have a pending meeting with administration to talk about, assistance to the planning department, because we need the help. And so just want to also say that right now, overall, regarding planning, building, code enforcement, housing, cannabis affairs, essentially we have two permit technicians that process over this last year was 600 building permits. And not only is it those are just the ones that were issued, not the ones, that we have a lot of those that are pending as well. And then we have a lot of, residents coming in on a daily basis asking, what they can do with their property, because they may want to do an addition to their property. Their family is expanding, and they want to, help from the planning department in regards to what they can do. And so that keeps us really, really busy with two permit technicians for the whole county. And as you know, sometimes, like today, things happen and, people get sick. And so like, today we had one permit technician, and, that's when planners can also assist. And, we now have, limit, with Jonathan also having left not too long ago, it's been a bit of a challenge. So just want to summarize it. Two permit technicians. We have two building inspectors for the whole county. Those are the ones that go out and inspect the whole over 600 permits. And as you know, it's not just 600 inspections. Every permit has multiple inspections, from foundation to, all the way to roof. I mean, you name it. A typical inspection can be 6, 7 inspections for a typical permit. And so again, we had one inspector out. He's been out for the past 3 days, and it makes it a little bit of a challenge, but we still try to keep as best as possible the service within somebody calls, and then within 24 hours we go out there and do the inspection. So those are the things that are kind of behind the scenes that we do our best to respond to We have one code enforcement officer for the whole county as well. And so, Victor was kind enough to help us a lot of the times when there was a code enforcement issue. A lot of it had to do with, how can I correct it? And Victor was also there helping with that, trying to get the proper building permits to the applicant to try to correct it. And so we're going to have a big loss there with Victor, amongst other great things that he did. So at this point, that's going to be the goal, to try to see how we can try to hopefully try to get some help in regards to the staff, because, after next week, we're going to be down to 2 planners and a total of 7 in the department. As you know, or some of you may know, our building official position was vacant and now has been eliminated for now. We do have the services from a consultant that can help us with that, but we need to build up. And I've made that clear to administration, to human resources. But for a while, it sounds like we're going to be very limited. We'll do our best to collaborate. I've talked to Steve, who is the director of engineering and public works administrator. We both share the same building and we have staff in the same building. There may be things that we may have to come up and talk to administration about, because right now with planning, building, code enforcement, cannabis affairs, housing, after next week, there's going to be 7 employees. And so for all of those departments. And I know for a fact, I've talked to people, and it's not just for these departments, but throughout the county, people are looking for other positions. And so it may be that I'm almost certain that 7 is actually going to come down less. And so just want to let the Planning Commission know that that's in the works, and we need the help. We're going to be talking to HR and admin, as we have been, and there may be some changes in the vicinity in the near future. Right now, we are open from 8 to 5. We don't close for lunch. We are open from 8 to 5, even when we have sick people like today. And so all throughout the vicinity, from the city of Gilroy, Hollister, County of Monterey, County of Santa Cruz, Greenfield, city of Monterey, city of Santa Cruz, everybody that I've looked at has certain specific hours, whether it just be closed for lunch to, certain office hours. And we don't want to make a dramatic change, but we may likely have to do some type of modification to those hours, because we are open 8 to 5. And that may be the case, especially right now that we're going to be, short staffed. And so that's not going to happen right now. We're going to have to talk to admin, and we'll come back to you and give you more of an update. As you may well know, our budget is also very, very stringent, very bare bones. And so just, services, supplies, to the point where we're looking at ink and paper. To that point, we always have, and we've been very fiscally responsible with that. Ariel has been a big part of that. But, we are going to be taking a closer look at that as well. And so we will be asking for your help. For example, I'm not asking for an answer right now, but it may be that we will, I know some of you, for example, take electronic copies of your packets. You don't have to tell me right now, but if others are willing to do that, that would be greatly appreciated. It's not a requirement, I'm not saying, but it's not just the ink and paper, it's also the monitoring, staff monitoring of the printout and so forth. It takes time. So, just letting you know that these are some of the things, training, all of that has been modified to basically just Zoom training without having to go to places, even though we've always been try to be very fiscal responsible in regards to only those trainings that we are required. Those are going to be limited as pretty much to Zoom, that are basically a training that are not going to be charged. So just give me a little bit of a just summary. I will be getting more information as we meet with administration and HR, and likely coming back and giving you another update. So just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to public comment, and forgive me because I believe I neglected to ask Stephanie to read the procedures for filling out comment cards and how to raise your hand on Zoom and so forth, which we usually do earlier on. In any event, after she reads that, this will be your opportunity to make a comment on anything that is not on tonight's agenda, but is within the purview of the Planning Commission. So if it's something that's on tonight's agenda, please hold your comment until we get to that particular item. But if it's something that's not on the agenda but's within our purview, then please bring it up now. So Stephanie, if you could read the procedures.
The San Benito County Planning Commission welcomes your comments. Each individual speaker will be limited to a presentation total of 3 minutes. When addressing the commission via Zoom, phone, or in chambers, please state your name and the county in which you reside for the record. Please address the commission as a whole through the chair. If participating via Zoom, select the Participants tab and click the Raise Hand icon. If you're using a phone, please press *9 to raise your hand. When your turn arrives, you will hear that you have been unmuted. If you are participating in person at the chambers, please complete a speaker card identifying the item you wish to speak and provide your completed speaker card to the clerk prior to consideration of the item. Speaker cards are available on the back table at the entrance to the chambers. Thank you.
Thanks. Do we have any general public comment?
I do not have, let me check. I do not have any public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
Thanks. Moving on then to the consent agenda, which consists of approving the certificate of posting and approving the minutes of the September 17th meeting. I do have one correction and a comment to make, well, potential correction. I'm not convinced that it's wrong, but it might be wrong. The comment is, why am I voting on the minutes since I wasn't here on September 17th? I'm voting on the minutes because I actually watched the September 17th meeting in its entirety, so I do feel qualified to vote on the minutes. As far as the thing that I spotted that might be wrong in the minutes, if you look on page 20 of your packet, the commissioner's packet, that is, the minutes from September 17th, their item 7.3, it's a little confusing because we have item 7 on our agenda tonight, but item 7.3 from September 17th talks about continuing PLN 250045, but the item is about PLN 250046. Is that a typo? Okay. Okay, so I guess if there's no other corrections, maybe I would entertain a motion to approve it with that correction.
I'll make a motion to approve it with the correction.
Second.
Okay, and so actually this is for the entire consent agenda, including the certificate of posting, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the seconder
second,
approves
yes.
that? Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, consent agenda is approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 8, public hearing, item 8.1, and I see that we have a note here on our desks. I believe this is about item 8.1. So I guess let's go ahead and hear about this. So Victor? Sir?
Good evening, Chair, Planning Commissioners, and members of the public. My name is Victor Tafoya, Associate Planner with the County of San Benito. This item is PLN 250045, the Brigantino Minor Subdivision, located at 748 Bellado Road near Tres Piñas. I've distributed to each commissioner a memo for the continuation of PLN 250045. The staff recommends that the Planning Commission continue consideration of PLN 250045, a minor subdivision, to November 19th of 2025 Planning Commission meeting. The applicant has requested a short continuance following recent coordination with the Public Works Division to clarify a few remaining items noted in their last review comments. These clarifications are minor in nature, but will benefit from brief additional discussions between the applicant and staff before the project is deliberated by the Planning Commission. While no changes to the project scope, layout, or findings are anticipated, allowing this additional time ensures all agencies Feedback is fully incorporated into the final record. This approach helps maintain accuracy, transparency, and consistency across the conditions of approval presented to the commission. Staff anticipates the clarifications will be completed quickly and the project will return for full consideration at the next regular Planning Commission meeting in November. Your attention to this matter is appreciated. Chair, staff recommends that the Planning Commission continue this to the certain date of November 19th, so renoticing will not be required. And at this time, you may open the public hearing for any comments before the commission deliberates and considers the motion to continue.
Thanks. Are there questions from the commission for Victor? No. Okay, let's open it up for public comment then. Are there public comments on this item?
Seth Cabron, please approach the podium. You'll have 3 minutes.
Hi, I've been attending some of the ag general plan meetings, and it's been great to hear some of the discussions there. There's a number of comments in the staff report that give me great concern. I've seen this in other staff reports on similar projects. It says, importantly, no new construction is proposed as part of this project. I think all of you as planning commissioners know that when we grant a 5-acre parcel subdivision, we've granted an entitlement to build a house and 3 ADUs on that parcel. So whereas there's no specifics about what may be built in the future, this inevitably is changing the use of this land significantly. And it talks about how the adjacent parcels, a number of them, I think 5 of them, adjacent parcels are in the Williamson Act now, or currently in agriculture. And I think we've all heard a lot about when small acre subdivisions come in, even 5-acre zoning, and create incompatible uses next to existing farming areas. Over time, that tends to degrade the viability of that farmland. I don't know the specifics about this farmland, but it is currently zoned as ag productive. The other thing that jumped out of the staff report that gave me great concern was it talked about the viability of a 36-acre parcel, and attending the meetings of the ag ad hoc committee, they were wanting 20-acre, they were entertaining 20-acre zoning on ag land in the future, saying that that was viable. They didn't want it, they didn't think maybe it needed to be 40, which I was advocating before, because 20 was viable and they didn't want to restrict their future options that much. So here we have a 36-acre parcel, and we're hearing that 36 acres isn't viable. So there's some inconsistencies there. I think that in going through the Ag Zoning Committee that I've been appointed to, we're going to be looking at maybe there's some areas where the ag zoning should be pulled off because it's already developed in a way that's not going to be conducive to future agriculture. But in areas that are still viable and are zoned this way, it may be 5-acre zoning, but the general plan says that the goal is to preserve ag land. And so we have this internal conflict. 5 acres is okay, but I think in order to approve it, you need to make a finding that this subdivision wouldn't have an adverse effect on the agricultural use of the land. And I don't think you can make that finding. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no more public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
Okay, thanks. Back to the commission then. Is there a desire to continue this item, I guess is the first question. And if not, then we'll move on to discussing it. But if there is, then we can entertain a motion to continue it.
I move to continue the item until November 19th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Okay. I mean, no, there's no opposed. Sorry. It sounded like I was voting no. I didn't mean to. All right. Thank you. Moving on then to item 8.2. And I guess then we'll have Abraham talk about that one to
Thank
start
you.
with.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, to start with, I'm going to introduce in a bit outside County Councilor Bree Muivas, who will be doing a brief PowerPoint presentation. But I just, while we're getting her up as panelists, want to indicate that briefly, the applicant Waste Solution is seeking renewal of conditional use permit PLN 200021 to extend the life of a soil stockpile located outside of John Smith Road landfill, just right outside of the boundary. The existing stockpile covers approximately 12.5 acres. The stockpiling of soil on an adjacent parcel is an ancillary activity of operating the landfill because the stockpile is operated by Waste Solutions Group to provide soil for daily and intermediate waste cover on the adjacent landfill. And so to get into the details, our outside county counsel will be giving a brief presentation, and we'll be making sure to load that up and have her come up as a panelist. Is she?
I am here. Can you hear me, Abraham?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Bree.
Good evening, and I shared my screen with the PowerPoint. Can everyone see that as well?
Not in chambers, not
CMAP,
just
can
yet.
you put the Zoom up on the screen? Is that possible? Okay. Otherwise, we'll follow along with you, Bree. We have the presentation in chambers that we can show to the TV screens. There we go.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, good evening. Bree Mobius with Hefner Law, and as Abraham mentioned, I'm working as outside counsel for the county on this, and really because I was outside counsel for the county on the landfill expansion, and so Abraham asked for my assistance with this, but just want to be really clear up front that this before you has nothing to do with the expansion. It does not accommodate the expansion, and so I don't want to cause any confusion that my involvement has anything to do with the expansion. It's just that I have experience with the landfill. So as Abraham mentioned, this is PLN 240081 before you, and it is just a renewal of an existing permit to stockpile soil. And if we go to the next slide, you can see this is an old aerial of the landfill, but you can see the landfill there. And then the large area in question is that large red circle, and that's the area where there is soil stockpiled there today. And then there's an existing 1 acre stormwater detention basin just south of that there. And it is the parcels adjacent to the landfill, and then it's approximately 12.5 acres. Go to the next slide. So you can see here where the existing soil remains. Originally, there was about 190,000 cubic yards, and then there's about 80,000 cubic yards left of soil that was excavated from the landfill. The original permit was issued, and it expired December 31st, 2024, and that's why that's back before you today for a renewal of that permit, because the soil is still there. And it is used, as Abraham mentioned, for the daily and intermediate cover, and then other uses at the landfill. The next slide. So the use permit, what we are proposing now, would expire either the earlier of December 31st, 2035, or once all the remaining soil is utilized. So if the soil is utilized before that, then the use permit would expire. As a condition of the approval, the stockpile area will be smooth graded, mulched, fertilized, and seeded with native seed mix, and areas that where it has already been used are already undergoing that. So that this is a picture of showing that from conditions currently. And the next slide, the item before you is exempt from environmental review, and there's 2 exemptions. Either one would work. Under section 15301, existing facilities, it's a class 1 exemption, it's a categorical exemption, and it's when there's operation, repair, maintenance, leasing, or minor alteration of existing public or private structures or facilities. And so this fits within this. There is no new soil being added to it, it's just the existing soil that's there today. And also under the common sense exemption in section 15061, a project is exempt if the activity is covered by the common sense exemption. That CEQA applies only to projects which have the potential for causing a significant effect in the environment, where it can be seen with certainty that there is no possibility that the activity in question may have a significant effect on the environment, the activity is not subject to CEQA. And it fits this exemption because there's no changes from what is existing conditions today and what has been going on. It's just really addressing that there was an expiration of the use permit. And so the staff recommendation tonight is to first find that the renewal of the use permit is categorically exempt from CEQA under both the sections that I mentioned, and then to adopt the proposed resolutions and findings therein and approve the use permit with the conditions of approval as recommended by staff. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, and I believe the applicant is there as well.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the commission for Bree?
I'll wait till after public comment.
Okay, yeah, I think I will as well. Anything? No, okay. All right, public comment on this item then?
Maureen Nelson, please approach the podium. You'll have 3 minutes.
You wish. Not so easy. Good evening. Thank you for your time. It's a pleasure to be here. It's nice to see Mr. Fuji again. Haven't seen him in a while. A little question that I had was, from reading this, it was stating that the stockpile of the soil is on adjacent property not belonging to the landfill. That is the same property, I believe, that the landfill was trying to purchase if the landfill expansion had been approved. So it's just a little concerning to me that the stockpile of soil is where you want to be, but not where we want you to be, and where we told you you couldn't be. So it just seems like there's a loose door there that doesn't have a lock on the gate. And I just want to apprise everybody that keep your eyes open, your ears open, and be judicious, because this has already been through the ringer once, and there was a determination, and we don't need a backdoor or a stockpile methodology for which an expansion so becomes a reality. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't see any other comment cards and no hands via Zoom.
Thanks. Discussion within the commission then. I have some things, but I'll hold mine until others have.
My memory is not what it once was. What was the original intent for this particular parcel? How long was that stockpile anticipated to be when the CUP was originally approved?
Originally, and Kurt might be able to, give a little more context, but it was excavated from the last cell of the landfill and stored there. And I think Waste Connections thought they would use the soil much faster than they did. And so they just haven't used it all, especially when out of county waste stopped being imported, they're not using as much dirt. So I think the anticipation was that it would be used by 2024. It is not, and therefore the use permit needs to be extended.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then I have a second question. What is the expected life of the remaining life of the landfill? Is it December 31st, 2035?
No, that date is not linked to, and Waste Connections could also answer this question better than me on what's left. It's less than 15 years. It's been less than 15 years for a couple of years now. But it is not, that was just an estimate of kind of what is the most, so that we're not back here with another extension of the use permit just to keep the soil there. What is the greatest amount of time you think you could possibly have that soil not used, and that was the date proposed by Waste Connections. And then we added in, if it's used earlier, it would expire earlier.
Okay. Mr. Fuji's going to comment, I think, on the expected life of the existing landfill.
It's approximately 12 years.
12 years. Okay, we're still there. Thank you. Then I have no further questions at this time.
Okay. Please.
I have a question. Who is the property owner where the stockpile's at? Who owns that property?
Waste Connections owns the property. They purchased it from the prior owner.
Okay, so you own the property yourselves then?
Yes, we do.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Other questions or comments from the commission? Okay, I have a couple things. I have an issue with the 2035 expiration. Here's my quibble, more than a quibble. The stockpile started out, and I may have these numbers a little bit off, but roughly right, 320,000, and worked its way down to 80,000. About 75% of it's gone over the course of 4 years. It's reasonable then to think that, seems to me, that if the current rate continues, which might not be a valid assumption, that it's not going to take until 2035 to exhaust this. And I hear what you're saying about not coming back to the commission for another extension, but I would rather see that happen. Frankly, I don't see a big deal about coming back to the commission for another. And in fact, in Mr. Fuji's original application, which I have up in front of me here, under item 7, describe the proposed project, he has written, renew use permit PLN 20021 to allow continued temporary stockpiling of soil for use as landfill daily and intermediate cover for an additional 4 years. So I'll give you an opportunity to answer that.
Sure. I will respond to your points in the opposite order because I think they're easier that way. One, the original application was for 4 years, and I just filled that out for 4 years because the previous one had been 4 years. So I thought it would be easier to do a 4-year extension, knowing that that would not be sufficient time. Getting to your first question as to the rate of consumption of the stockpile, that depends on the rate of waste accepted and placed in the landfill. State and federal landfill regulations require that we cover the in-place waste every day with a minimum of 6 inches of compacted soil. So when you're accepting, say, 1,000 tons per day, that creates a bigger area of new waste, so it takes more soil to cover that every day. When you drop back down to about 230 tons per day, which is what we're doing now, that area is much smaller, so each cubic yard of stockpiled soil lasts longer under the in-county only limitation. So the 10 years is an estimate based on 230 tons per day and the remaining soil stockpile.
Okay. So it sounds like there was some actual calculation. It wasn't a matter of somebody just said, oh, let's ask for 10 years.
No, the 4 years was just somebody, that would be me, going, oh, let's ask for 4 years.
Okay.
That was the previous permit.
Okay, and the other, go ahead, sorry, Bree.
Sorry, Mr. Joy. The original permit was for the 320,000 cubic yards, but that wasn't actually stockpiled there. So in the staff report, there's a table on page 5, and so originally it was 190,000 approximately yards that was placed there. And so we haven't used kind of our waste section hasn't used up to that 320. It started at 190 and is down to the 80,000.
Got it. So they haven't really used 75%. They've used more like a little less than half. Or a little more than half, sorry. Okay, got it. All right, and the other issue that I had with this whole thing is they've apparently been operating without a permit to have this stockpile present since December 31st of last year, and it's now October of 2025. How did we, or they, or the combination of us and them miss this? And maybe this is a rhetorical question, but somebody dropped the ball here, right?
Yeah, I think that's a fair, and I'd say it's a collective in the sense of, I believe if I recall, the application came in Christmas Eve. And so I think, not to, put it on waste connections, but yes, our application to extend it should have come in a week before it expired. And then once it was submitted, we reviewed the initial application. We felt there was more materials needed, and so we requested all of that materials. And then there's just a review process and preparing everything to come to the commission. Could we have done it faster? Of course. But that was kind of the part of it, but it didn't get the application until Christmas Eve.
So they did apply prior to 12/31/24, or at least started the application prior to 12/31/2024. Okay, thank you. That's all the questions and issues that I had, I think, on this one. Are we prepared to, is there more discussion on this? Yes, there is. Okay.
I have one more question of the applicant, please. You only want a 10-year extension on the fill, the dirt fill. And the landfills will be open until 2037. If you had 2025 and 12 years, you said we have 12 years left, right? Up there?
Correct.
So why don't you ask for 2037 to the end of the, let's just do it one time and get it over with right to the end of the landfill. So why are you 2 years short?
Because based on our calculations and our estimates of incoming waste and previous soil usage, we think that will exhaust the soil stockpile. After that, we'll have to find other sources of soil, but we just want to clear up the use permit and get that over with.
Well, I was just looking to the end of the landfill, but okay, thank you.
Okay, are we in a position to take action on this?
I'll read them all, just so it's on the record. I move to approve per staff recommendation, which includes finding that the project is exempt from CEQA under those two exemptions stated in the record, which also adopt the proposed resolution and findings therein, and approve use permit file number PLN 240081 with conditions and as recommended by staff. Find the use permit is consistent with the 2035 general plan because the use is deemed essential or desirable to the public convenience or welfare. And find the use permit is in harmony with the applicable elements or objectives of the general plan and conditionally permitted by the zoning code. And find the use permit will not be adverse to the public health, safety, or general welfare of the community, nor detrimental to surrounding properties or improvements. The proposed use complies with any design or development standards applicable to the zone or the use in question, and the site is suitable for the type, density, and intensity of the use being proposed.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 9, there are no items under item 9, which is regular agenda. So moving on to item 10, future agenda items. I do have something to talk about, but I'll let others go first. No? No? Okay. The Title 25 zoning updates. As you know, there is or was or still is actually an ad hoc consisting of myself and Commissioner Ringhayden that are looking at things like the battery electric storage systems and also the commercial in all zones issue as far as the sizing, that sort of thing. The problem is that the ad hoc addressing the BESS and the commercial requirements for new developments is actually on hold at the moment on advice of County Council and staff, because we learned of the existence of another ad hoc at the board level that has actually been given the authority to look at some of the same issues. And the board has obviously been preoccupied with budget issues, but I hope to get clarification on the status of the board's ad hoc very soon. This is actually why the special meeting that had been set for October 29th, you probably saw the notice of cancellation of that meeting. That's the reason for that. It may actually be time for us to consider, in my opinion, passing individual sections of Title 25 as opposed to waiting for a replacement of Title 25 in its entirety, since I believe there's agreement on quite a bit of the contents of the zoning updates other than a couple of these issues that are still outstanding. So it's something that we should be, I think, thinking about at least in the back of our minds, if not the front of our minds. I think that's it for me for future agenda items. Looks like you're champing at the bit.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with taking it piece by piece if it's not detrimental to staff time, especially now that we're very short-staffed. If it doesn't impact staff, that's fine with me, because then it'll be easier for the public and for us and for the board to consume.
I'm in agreement with that, as long as staff doesn't take too much of staff's time.
Can Abraham, or can you comment on whether you think that would be a big deal for you, or?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and members of the Planning Commission. We really appreciate that consideration. And I think that the items that have already been discussed, that don't necessarily have to be that don't have to be redirected for review. We can talk to County Council on, and we can bring them moving ahead.
Okay. That would probably be appreciated at this point, at least until the board gets their heads up above the water line of enough to be able to focus on something other than the budget. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Commissioner announcements. And again, I do have something there, but again, I'll defer to my colleagues first. Okay, special meetings. Again, talking in terms of the budget, we've been asked to be cognizant that special meetings are not free to the county. Obviously, they incur costs in terms of staff time, facilities, materials, et cetera. We need to use them when they're needed. Nobody's saying we can't have a special meeting when it's necessary and legitimate and makes sense, and certain things are definitely cause for special meetings, but we do want to minimize them to the extent that we can. So just FYI. And the other thing, and this might sound a little odd when we're talking about the budget issues, but I'm going to be attending the California County Planning Commissioners Association 94th Annual Conference in Tulare on October 24th and 25th. But before anybody jumps up and down and says, what? I'm paying my own way. I'm paying my own expenses, lodging, meals, food, gas, not gas in my case, but, fuel, et cetera. So there's no cost to the county for my attendance. But anyway, I'll give you a report when I come back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's all I had for commissioner announcements. Unless anybody else has an announcement. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, so next item is adjournment. And I guess, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nobody opposed? Okay, we are adjourned at 6:56.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
It's been a blast.
Thank you.